Welcome back to Pokemon Colosseum. At the end of the last episode, we made it through Pyrite Cave long enough to reach the sewage area. And we finally found a rest spot where we had a healing machine as well as a PC. And as you can see, pretty much all around us, except for the staircase right behind me, are dead ends. So we actually cannot proceed across these bridges because they are obviously not crossable. We can see out there in the distance, we still have those two item boxes that we can grab at a later point. We just have to take an alternate route to get to that location. But for now, we just have to stare at them in awe and despair because unfortunately we cannot grab them or see what is inside of them at this time. But if we move forward, we can proceed onwards. So let's do that. Just checking for any hidden items or item boxes that might be found behind the staircase. For some reason, don't remember for sure if there was any, but it doesn't look like there is. So, fine enough. Let's move on. Now that we have ascended, we are now back in the cave-looking area. So, there's a trainer right there. It looks like we can just skip right past him. I'm not going to worry about him right now. I might come back and fight him later if I'm desperate for experience. Just checking down here. Big open space with nothing in it, unfortunately, down here. I was hoping for another item box. They do hide a lot of the item boxes in this cave, so you just want to make sure you're checking every square inch of the perimeter. Moving forward, we're going to head north. We have another staircase going down. We have a guy standing in front of that one, and it looks like we have a required fight right there. I'm going to take this guy on first. I need to score points with Miror B so I can get a promotion. And it looks like he is going to be doing that against us in a battle. So we are taking on Hunter Zalo. He has a Swablu and a Lotad. Ironically enough, it's not like we haven't seen enough of those things in this cave. We're going to send out Espeon and Slugma. Slugma needs some more experience. Espeon is leveling up actually quite nicely. The only thing I'm really afraid of is the fact that Espeon could possibly outpace some of our other Pokemon on our team. But it looks like we have another Shadow Pokemon, and it is Swablu. Swablu is actually going to be the 6th and final member of my Pokemon team in this playthrough. So I am actually choosing Swablu for a few different reasons. I was actually not planning on using it when I initially was going to start doing this playthrough. I had another Pokemon in mind. It was actually Vibrava, which eventually evolves into Flygon. Flygon is part dragon type. It has actually pretty good stats in my opinion, especially once it evolves. And it learns some decent moves. Honestly, the main reason why I decided against it, and it's also, completely immune to Earthquake, of course, with this. I chose to go with Swablu instead. It is a normal flying type when it's Swablu, but when it evolves into Altaria, it turns into a dragon flying type, which honestly is a nice type combo. A lot of resistances with its dragon traits. It learns a lot of the same moves that Flygon does. It is, of course, immune to Earthquake, and that's going to be an attack that we are going to be seeing more frequently towards the end of the game, or at least halfway through. So that's also nice, but it also learns the move Dragon Dance once it evolves into Altaria, I believe. That is an absolutely fantastic move because not only does it boost your attack power, but it also boosts your speed. So if you decide to do a few of those Dragon Dances in a row, if you're in a battle where it makes sense to, it can make things a lot easier because Altaria essentially turns into a beast. Not to mention the fact that you get Vibrava at a much later part in the game, and it doesn't evolve until it's at a much higher level, versus getting Swablu at this point of the game much earlier on just made sense to me overall. We're going to go for the catch here. It's not quite weak enough, I don't think, for it to actually successfully catch, but we're going to go ahead and try it in a Pokeball. And it is burned, so I want to try to catch it quickly. Nice! Very awesome. So we got it on the first try in a Pokeball at about half of its health, so not bad. So Swablu was ours, and once again, it's going to be the final member of my team. Very excited to use that. And now we have a Beldum. I'll go ahead and finish off Lotad here. And as you can see, Slugma's Flame Body ability is actually coming in very nicely here. We're seeing it at its full effect, where it can be pretty effective because you can weaken opponents over time, obviously, if they're burned. And a lot of opponents, I think, in this game do use physical attacks where they will make that direct contact in order to become burned, by triggering the Flame Body ability. So very nice. It looks like now we have a Lombre, the evolved form of Lotad. So if we didn't get enough of Lotad in this place, we might as well get, you know, we might as well get its, you know, older brother, older cousin version of it, whatever. So Slugma's going to use Flamethrower. Looks like Slugma has completely cleared out all of its shadow aura from its body. That's nice. We can tell that by the transparent meter that is completely cleared out, it looks like. Beldum goes down. We're going to go ahead and hit Lombre with a Confusion, and we're just going to do Shadow Rush with Slugma. Confusion should take it out. Very nice. Espeon's obviously a lot stronger, like I said just moments ago. Lombre goes down, and that does it for that fight. And we have our 6th team member as well. No, my bright future. Not looking too bright anymore now, is it, Zalo? Oh. We get his money. You ruined all my hopes of getting a promotion. Now he's going to cry himself to sleep tonight, unfortunately. I guess that would be worthy of crying yourself in sleep. Maybe get a nice jug of ice, nice bowl of ice cream. You know, watch some good anime tonight. It'll all be fine. Went ahead and fully healed my team. We now have Swablu in the party. And we can see that, we can take a look at its stats, see that it has the natural cure ability, which heals it upon switching out. Actually pretty decent stats, not the greatest, I wouldn't say, but I mean, HP is pretty decent starting off. Obviously it doesn't have really anything when it comes to moves because it's a shadow Pokemon. It's, we just now obtained it, so we have a lot of work to do in order to open up its heart. We'll go ahead and move back to where we were. Passing this guy, we can now go downstairs since we have defeated him, and we go down to another lower level where the sewage area is again. And looks like we have a bunch of nasty water around us again. We have a couple of pathways we can take. This one's a dead end. Nice giant pipe just, you know, polluting this place entirely of sewage. Down here we have another dead end, so kind of makes our pathway a little bit more simple. We just have one way to go here. And this one looks a little bit more intense, a little interesting. Looks like we're getting even further into the mines. We actually don't want to go there yet. That is actually the required path. But I have a few other things I need to do in the cave first before we go there. I'm under orders to battle with you here. Orders must be followed. All right. It's now time for Ryder Darid. Very interesting name. I kind of like it. He's going to send out a Pineco and a Shuppet. So we've seen, I think we've seen Pineco before. Shuppet, I think, is a new addition, or a new first-time encounter, I believe. We can make fine work of it, of course, with Espeon's Confusion, and we are now going to throw Swablu into battle, its very first one ever. So you can see just by walking around, we've already kind of emptied a little bit of its shadow aura out of its heart. That's another thing I haven't really talked a lot about, is there are actually many methods of opening the door to these Pokemon's heart, the shadow Pokemon, other than just battling and having them participate in your battles. Walking around will do just as fine, except it just takes a little bit more time because obviously, you know, the more they fight, the more chances they have of going into hyper mode, and then you can obviously call them out of the hyper mode state, which of course allows them to open the door to their heart a lot quicker because it eats away a lot of the purple in the bar when you call them back to their senses. Walking around, like I said, though, will also help. Again, just takes a little bit longer. There's a couple other methods of doing you know, kind of getting their happiness up and allowing their bar to empty out even more that I will talk about later. We just haven't really came across that method yet, but we will be introduced to that method coming up actually very soon. We'll go ahead and finish Pineco off here. We took out Shuppet with no problem. Looks like that's all he had, so he's kind of a weakling. Level 30s, what is he doing? We're at like level 35 at this point. But this is ridiculous. Oh, you never know how the battle's gonna end up. You don't have to be a sore loser about it, you know? Just a sore loser. I was under orders to battle with you. Nobody said anything about not losing, so it's okay. I guess he's trying to find a loophole to save his own ass, apparently, so... we're gonna just keep trucking along through the cave. We have another set of stairs right here. We're actually gonna go down these. And again, more sewage environment. Gotta love it. Long ass bridge right here, but if we get all the way over here, we will find a trainer. I'm in training here. One day I'm going to win at the Colosseum. Well, I guess we're gonna have to test you in this battle in order to find that out, won't we, Melly? Melly, I don't even know how to pronounce your name. She's gonna have a pair of Zigzagoon. We've seen these before, like in the very first battle of the game. Nothing too complicated here. Of course, we need Swablu to gain more experience. I'm probably gonna be using it pretty much throughout the rest of this place because everybody else has obviously had a pretty awesome chance of sharing experience, or especially back in the Pyrite building, we had a lot of opportunities there, and a lot of battling that we did where I think everybody else is pretty much good to go, at least for the time being. I think Swablu is the one that really needs obviously some catching up to do because we just caught it obviously, but without stating the obvious too much, we're going to just see what we can do here and finish off this battle. Gonna go ahead and use Shadow Rush. Seal the deal. And that'll do it for Zigzagoon number 1. She now has a Linoon, of course, the evolved form. Swablu has went into hyper mode, so a nice opportunity in order to maybe open the door to its heart a little bit more. But I'm gonna go ahead and just double up here and go into Shadow Rush and see if it does more damage. I'm gonna have Espeon use Helping Hand to boost its power as well. See if we can do some ultimate damage here. Of course, we get hit by a sand attack. That's gonna lower our accuracy a little bit. And let's see how much power we can pull off here. It looks like absolutely none because we missed, because that stupid sand attack. That can get annoying. See, we're not gonna mess around any longer. We're just gonna call it back to its senses because we were hit with sand attack. Our accuracy's been lowered, so I think we have a better chance of just trying to attack in normal state than in hyper mode on top of our accuracy being lowered. So. But yeah, like I said before, I think it is important to really start filling out your team pretty much during this point in the game. I think if you have specific Pokemon in mind that you know are coming up later on, or if you're a new player and you just happen to not really care for many of the Shadow Pokemon you've encountered thus far, that's fine. I just think it's important to at least have maybe like half of your team already built out at this point, because we're going to be facing some much tougher fights coming up here in a little bit. Not like, you know, very soon, but we will be facing, well, I will say we have a major battle coming up very soon, but there's a lot of tougher fights that happen pretty much throughout the rest of the game, starting in like the next area. So I would say it's definitely highly recommended to start building up your team now, if you haven't gotten close to doing that. And I think that we've encountered, in my opinion, I think we've encountered a good share of Pokemon that would be worthy of being on a team. Or being used on a team in a typical playthrough. So I think this is probably a good time to kind of analyze that a little bit. But you never know, there are different people out there that have different preferences. So maybe none of the Pokemon we've encountered to this point are really suitable for certain people. You never know. Wow, my confidence took a hit. They always have to cry, don't they? They always act so tough when they first encounter you and engage you in battle, and then they end up like crying to their mommy. Maybe. Is it this place that's bad for my training? I don't know, girl, I don't know. But it looks like we finally found that platform that has all these item boxes. We were actually looking at it from down there in that south direction. We can't go north still. There's really nothing up there, I don't believe. But we can go ahead and see what's in these. We have one Carbos. That is a nice item to raise some stats. We have a Protein, another nice item to raise another stat. An Iron, same thing as the other two. And a Zinc. So we have some nice stat boosting items. Haven't really done much with these yet. We haven't really bought any. But these are, I believe, the first ones we've really encountered. Well, we have this White Herb. I didn't really talk about this. It does restore any lowered stat if you have a Pokemon holding it. Might as well get that to somebody. We'll give it to Flaffy. I think that's a... Actually, yeah, we'll go ahead and give it to Flaffy, I think. I think it's probably the best user to hold it for right now. I have other Pokemon that I want to hold other items, so we'll kind of just go ahead and go with that. So going through our stats on our Pokemon team, I think there's a few users that we can probably utilize these items with. Honestly, we can probably use this on most of my team members now. Let's take a look. I just want to kind of do a little bit of browsing before we go ahead and apply these items. We definitely have some people that could use some of these though. Let's take a look at the items again. We're gonna give the Carbos to Espeon. I think it benefits from speed. It does gain more speed going on forward. Protein will give to Quagsire. I think it does benefit from a higher attack. Iron will also give to Quagsire. It's pretty bulky, probably the bulkiest member of my team, so we'll raise that. Zinc will give to Bayleaf. I want its special defense to go up. We'll go ahead and head back over in this way, or over in this direction. Looks like we have a pathway we can take north with another trainer waiting for us to just cross by her. Are you looking for Duking's Pokemon? Could it be beyond here? I wonder. Oh, I don't know, lady. You're kind of making it seem like you're kind of making it seem that way, but I think we already know that this is not the correct pathway because I've played this game before. She's going to send out a Natu and a Tentacool, so we can pretty much make fine work of these two. Go ahead and give Swablu some more battle exposure. Always good for it. And something else that's nice about Swablu is it starts off at level 33. So one benefit that you have of catching your team a little bit later is they are obviously going to be a lot higher level the later you, the further you get into the game and the later Shadow Pokemon that you discover. So, which, again, if you've had a decent team build up, you've had a chance to build up enough experience to maybe get to that point by now. Anyways, but just saying. Like Tentacool is using Wrap. Wrap I think is always an interesting move in this game. It kind of looks weird in this game compared to like the game, like the handheld games. It doesn't really look like an actual Wrap attack that's happening there. I don't know why. It looks like some sort of I don't know. Looks like some sort of psychic attack or something. I don't know. The blue is back in hyper mode. Unfortunately, we can maybe utilize that a little bit. We'll go ahead and use Confusion on Tentacool. Take it out. And then we will have Swablu finish off Natu. Hopefully. She's got a Teddy Ursa coming out next. Very cute Pokemon. One of my favorite looking Pokemon, I think, from Gen 2. You gotta love its little teddy bear qualities there. Go ahead and use Shadow Rush. It's all powered up now that we're in hyper mode. Got a critical. Not too bad. There's also another reason I think it's important to go ahead and gather your teammates now, because obviously, they're still Shadow Pokemon at this point. You clearly cannot do anything about that right now, but you will be able to relatively soon. So I think it's important to just do that. And I'm not trying to tell people what to do. This is more of like an advice that I kind of give when I have my little spiels during my my videos sometimes. But I think it's highly recommended to go ahead and just fill out the most of your team. I think there's, good choices that we came across already. Where's that Pokemon? I'll never tell you. They're always so, they're just so rude, man. These guys they need a better goal in life than to do this. Don't you people have any sense of direction? I bet you're having trouble getting around in this cave. Well, I mean, it is a cave, so it's not really the easiest thing to navigate. I mean, I don't think any cave is. Everything looks the same. Alright, so before we can confront that strange woman in a suit, I went ahead and went back and healed at the healing machine. And I actually forgot about something. So if we go into our Pokemon storage and look at our friends, I forgot that Metatite has a twisted spoon that it's holding when you capture it. We're not using Metatite on our main team, but I think that's a very nice item for Espeon to hold because it does boost the power of psychic attacks. So what better teammate in my party to use that than Espeon, of course. I honestly don't think anybody else would benefit from it either way. So we'll go ahead and then take a look here. We'll go ahead and take its twisted spoon from its clutches, and we'll give that to our dear Espeon to hold. So very nice. That's actually gonna be very useful, I think, here, really in this area and for the rest of the game. Especially when we learn, greater psychic attacks. I'm actually going to switch out Espeon. I think it's kind of too high level at this point. I don't know exactly where everybody else stands because we don't know exactly what their actual levels are now. So I'm going to have Bayleaf sit in the front with Swablu as a nice little support because it is a little tanky. It can take some hits. We've returned back to this area here. We have a strange woman that is all dressed up in a Nice little costume there. We have no further way to go here. I guess there's nothing else that we can do other than to face her. Oh, now isn't this something? This is the edge of the world. Good of you to come. So this is what hell looks like. I've always wondered. We're here taking on Cipher Peon Sema. Sorry, jeez, holy crap. I'm getting your name wrong. It's not like I care because you're like a horrible person, right? Anyways, she's going to have a Spiel and a Lilip. Kind of interesting Pokemon. I don't think we've seen either one of these two yet. We're going to see what we can do here. I think Bayleaf can take on Spiel pretty easily. And honestly, I think Swablu can take on Lilip. It looks like Swablu did pick up the move Sing, which is actually not a bad move. Another setup move if we want to make catching Shadow Pokemon a little bit easier. Just like with Yawn, Sing does cause the opponent to fall asleep, except with Sing, it happens that turn. You don't have to wait out, 1 or 2 turns for Yawn to take effect. If the attack actually hits and connects, the opponent will fall asleep upon that move being used. So very nice. And if you've never watched the Pokemon anime, you've never seen Jigglypuff, and you don't know Jigglypuff, then I mean, that's kind of a giveaway. Lilip's using Acid. Super effective against Bayleaf, but again, it's pretty tanky, so it's going to take the blow. And Swablu is really not going to be taking too much damage here because it's pretty resistant to that. Still in Hyper Mode. Go ahead and use Razor Leaf again. I want to make fine work of the Spiel. It is a water type. And Lilip, we got a critical hit, but it wasn't enough to finish the job, unfortunately. Go for the Shadow Rush. That'll do it. And it goes down. Next up, she's going to send out Dustox. Not worried about this one either. Probably would have been a better opponent for Espeon to take on, but Espeon's not out in the field right now. Like Spiel's using Aurora Beam. I like how that looks. It's like a rainbowy colored texture. It's got like a rainbow color scheme to it. It just looks kind of cool. A lot of the moves in this game I feel like are a lot better looking than in like Pokemon Stadium. Obviously this came out not far after those games were released on the N64. And they reuse a lot of the same models, if you notice, of like the Pokemon, because obviously Stadium and Stadium 2 had Gen 1 and Gen 2 Pokemon. The only new models that we see in this game that were introduced in this game since the last 3D Pokemon was the Hoenn Pokemon, obviously, the Gen 3s, like Swablu, for instance, and Spiel. So seeing, those designs, like brand new designs, is really cool as well, because it almost feels like you're playing like Pokemon Stadium 3. That's how I always kind of thought of this game when I was a kid, because it was like the closest looking thing that we got to a Pokemon Stadium game following the first two. And being on the GameCube, it had a lot more potential to kind of show off the graphical enhancements compared to the N64, at that time at least. Obviously now we see a lot, like night and day compared to what we're seeing on the Switch and stuff like that now, but I don't know, I always kind of compared it to Stadium because it just kind of felt like that, except you're in double battles. Again, I feel like it would have been kind of cool to get a game like this, but just single battles only. That would have been a lot more Pokemon Stadium-esque, But, we'll take what we get. But I think that what I was talking about earlier was the attacks look a lot cooler in this game, obviously, than in Stadium. I think some of them they stayed the same, like very few of them, but most of them look a lot better. Like Thunderbolt, for example, was one of them. I think it looked cool in Stadium, but this game really looks awesome. Yeah, no fluke that we managed to come out here. No, we had some plans and some intentions to do this, lady, just letting you know. We're here to save the day and save the Plusle that was captured. What a wasted effort for you. There's nothing here for you. While you were all busy wasting time, what became of that Pokemon you're after? Makes you wonder. I don't know. We're about to find out, though, because we're not leaving. Alright, I went ahead and went back to this guy right by the staircase. We'll go ahead and fight him, see what he has. Yeah, he wasn't really anything worth it. Just wanted to gain a little extra experience. Alright, so the guy that we ruined his hopes of finding promotion, if you remember that staircase that he was actually guarding, we want to head back down here again now that we're fully healed up, because this is the end of our journey in Pyrite Cave. We have taken every other alternate pathway. We have grabbed every item in every item box that there is to grab in here. No other choice but to move forward in this direction. As you can see, we have kind of stumbled upon Miror B in full action here. He is practicing his dance moves. Hey, people, going that way is a no-no. Alrighty then, but we see Plusle is just sitting right there in the spotlight. We have a shiny folder again and an item box up there in the right-hand corner. So he has some things that we would like to take, or at least get back. He has a nice squad of Ludicolo surrounding him, which is fitting because I can't think of a better Pokemon that is as happy and carefree as Miror B. And we're going to now take this time to admire his awesome dance moves. Like, this guy, holy cow, he can dance. Say what you want about him, but he also has some moves. Quite the performer. Yeah, woo, it's about time, darlings. I'm so frightfully tired of waiting for you. Stop the music. Oh, you kept me waiting for so long, I decided to work up a little perspiration. But my, you have been busy being naughty and messing up our plans. It was so close for everything to turn out just right. Just the way we hoped. But I can salvage our plan by beating you, little man. And so, there's time for one last frantic dance before the grand finale. Let the music play. We are facing off with Cipher Admin, Miror B. He is sending out a duo of Ludicolo. He has a total of 4 of them. We've seen them all out on the field right there as he was performing his moves. This guy is pretty snazzy. Got some ass on him too. I mean, good golly gee. A little inappropriate, I think, but I had to point it out. So, we're going to start off with Confusion with Espeon, and we are going to start the fight. Now, this is the point, in my opinion, in the game where Miror B starts to grow on me a little bit. I think most people playing this game would probably agree. He shows up in Phoenix City in his first appearance and is a little awkward, kind of feels out of place, and is just kind of, in a way, just kind of comes out of nowhere. However, at this point in the game, you know, we've kind of built him up as a main antagonist at this point in the game, or at least one of them. We can obviously see that he is taking orders from a higher power. You know, when we saw that cutscene. But he kind of gets to a point now where he seems a little bit more important. He is not only just a, you know, goofy, carefree, dancing, lovable guy, but he's also a very serious battler. We start to see him as a little bit more of a threat. He throws out 2 fully evolved Pokemon that are actually pretty decent Pokemon, I have to say. He's got 4 of them. You got to say, you know, you have to admit, he really isn't any pushover when it comes to, you know, kind of having a little bit of a defensive strategy here. And we have seen him kind of take over Pyrite Town. He essentially was taking over Phoenix City when we first met him. So he's nothing to joke around with. You know, he is, he's a pretty powerful character. He has some connections and he's enjoying it. He's enjoying every last second of it. You know, he is obviously, you know, working on the wrong side here, but he is a pretty likable, flamboyant, and very charismatic guy. So, but yeah, Ludicolo, they're actually pretty challenging. They're only level 30s, but again, they have a pretty, you know, they are fully evolved. They have a pretty decent defense. They tend to set up by using Rain Dance to power up their water moves. But they also have the move Mega Drain, which can be kind of deadly if you throw out the wrong Pokemon. Fortunately, we are starting off with a duo that is pretty resistant to it, Swablu being part flying type. It's not really going to do much to it. And of course, Espeon, there really isn't a lot that they can do to that one as well. They also know Leech Seed, so they can zap you with that, slowly draining your health and then regaining theirs and strength. And also they have the ability called Rain Dish, which essentially restores their HP if there is rain on the field, which of course, once they use the move Rain Dance, that's their setup in order to kind of do that. So they are kind of HP hogs, so to speak. They also know Astonish, which again, not really going to do a lot here. Water Gun as well. So again, if you have a fire type out on the field, this is probably the wrong time to do that. Or anything else that's weak against water, you know, like ground, rock types, if you have those. Actually, I'm not even sure if you can get those at this point. But yeah, probably not the best types that you want out on the field right now. So things are going to get a little drizzly, a little rainy, but we're going to brighten up this rainy day with a little sunshine. But that can be a little tedious, having them kind of recover health slowly over time. And if they have Leech Seed on you while using Rain Dance with their ability allowing them to recover health, yeah, this fight can go on for quite some time. And again, they're pretty tanky at this point in the game. So I would say this is not the easiest fight in the world. It's not hard in any means. It just is very time consuming and can be kind of tedious. Next up, we have Sudowoodo. A little bit of a change compared to what we just saw. And as you can see, it is actually a shadow Pokemon. So Miror B is one of the main Cipher peons that does, of course, hold a shadow Pokemon. We did not get a chance to face off with this guy back in Fennec. We only took on his, grunts. So unfortunately, we, did not have the chance to capture Sudowoodo back then. I'm sure we probably could have if he engaged us in battle, but he just, I guess, wasn't in the mood. Now that we've chased him all the way down into a cave, I guess this is the better time to do it. Miror B logic, not mine. We're going to go ahead and finish off this other looted Colo. I think that's the last one, I believe. So I think we just have it now singled out to Sudowoodo. Makes catching it a whole lot easier. Espeon grows another level, doing really well. Its special attack is going up very nicely. And holy cow, we finally get a chance to learn Psybeam. I've been waiting on this for such a long time. Psybeam is a much better psychic attack than Confusion. It has a power of 65, 100% accuracy, versus, of course, Confusion, which only has a rate of 50 power, of course, is 100% accurate as well. Psybeam's stronger, so we're going to get rid of that attack. It's just essentially the upgraded version of Confusion. Swablu is looking like a little hyper. It looks like it's probably choosing the wrong time to do this, but it's going back into its Pokeball. I'm actually going to send out Slugma, as crazy as it sounds. Sudowoodo's going in for a low kick. Isn't going to do too much to Espeon here. I think I'm going to throw up a Reflect to reduce some of that physical damage that Sudowoodo is going to try to do to us. Now it's going to use Rock Slide, and this is another reason why Slugma is kind of risky to choose here. Nice, Espeon just kind of ate that hit. Slugma, not so much, but it still hung on. It still survived. Perfect, because I just wanted it out on the field to use Yawn, because we want to put this thing fast asleep. We're going to go ahead and use Return. I'm hoping this doesn't do too much. It's a normal attack, so I can't see it doing that much to a rock type, especially one that's like the same level as us. I'm going to go ahead and heal up Espeon using Slugma's turn, because I don't see Slugma lasting very long in this fight. And wow, yeah, that did like no damage at all. We might even just go out on a limb and just try to use Psybeam against it. I feel like that might be overkill, but at this rate, we're never going to have a chance to capture it unless we want to risk doing so when it has full health. Slugma goes down. I didn't think it was going to do much in this fight. Just wanted to get off that Yawn. We were successful at doing that, so it did its job. I want to send out Bayleaf now because it's a lot more tanky, and obviously, again, another Pokemon that Sudowoodo really can't do much to. Finally goes to sleep. Time for Betty Bye. Let the grown-ups do all of the work here, and we will go ahead and capture your ass. What do I want Bayleaf to do? So this is kind of the tricky part here. If you have a Pokemon where you're not sure if you're going to take it out, or maybe you might be overpowered compared to it, you kind of have to strategize as far as what you want that other Pokemon to do. I'm going to try to capture it now that it is asleep. It's not weakened really at all to where I feel comfortable catching it. Okay, I kind of saw that coming, but it was worth a shot. Again, having the Pokemon go to sleep or be paralyzed is just a nice way of, kind of upping your chances of capturing it. Holy cow, I'm glad we decided to do that because it got it into the perfect spot for its health right there. So that is a perfect range that I am comfortable catching this in. Okay, gonna go ahead and heal up Espeon. I want it to stay in case we still need it. As you can see, yeah, Psybeam probably wasn't the best move there to use. It almost took it out, but we got lucky enough to where it didn't, so it's alright. We're still okay. Not going to lose the same like we did with the Remoraid. We don't want another Remoraid situation. Once, twice, 3 times. Oh, and we strike out. Unfortunately, not the Sudowoodo. Still asleep, so we have another chance to capture it. We're going to go with a Great Ball this time. Let's see how it does. I have a better feeling about this one. And we are successful. We have finally defeated, for the first time, Cipher Admin Miror B. I can't keep up with the tempo. Oh, no, 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 no. What a no-no. Whoa, he was loaded. Holy cow. No wonder he can afford the clothes he has on. I'm sure he can afford a nice stylist, too. How dare you? Don't you dare think you'll get away with your latest outrage. One of these days, I will take great pleasure in kicking you about with my elegant dance steps. Oh, and I'm not giving up our Shadow Pokemon plan for anything. Let's go, escape! And they're off. In the typical Cipher Peon way. Wes, did you hear those cries? It must be Plusle. I think those cries came from behind that door. I mean, it's not like we didn't just get a nice little peek at it earlier. So it looks like the center stage has been cleared for us. It is now time for Wes and his dance moves. Yeah. Get it. Good. Okay, this is awkward. This isn't working. We're not quite obviously up to the same talent that Miror B is. He's a lot more, his flow is a little bit better than ours. He can move around a lot easier, so. But in that item box, we got another TM, and it is TM49 Snatch. Deals and uses a target's move if it raises stats. Kind of an interesting move. I don't really use it. But we also got Toxic. I forgot to kind of go into this one. We got that back at the Pyrite Colosseum. Kind of nice to have that. It will poison the foe 100% and does more damage after each turn. We got another Iron File. This is Iron File P. We'll go ahead and read this one. Purification of Pokemon. Shadow Pokemon are fighting machines created by closing the door to their hearts. The process of restoring a Shadow Pokemon back to its original state is known as purification. Exactly how a Shadow Pokemon is purified is unclear, but there appear to be several causes. We must eliminate reaction to these factors and create Shadow Pokemon that will never revert back to their original purified forms. We're evil. Shadow Pokemon Lab, Chief Ein. Man, these guys are sinister thugs, aren't they? Have another item box back here in the corner that's been kind of teasing us. We'll grab that, and it is a Macho Brace. Very nice. That is another held item that will affect your Pokemon stats. And we have nothing else to do but to retrieve cute little lonely Plusle here. Wes, Plusle. Wes, you're safe. Oh, and Plusle. Miror B got away, but things will be back to normal here. Duking, I don't know what to say. Forget it, Sova. We're all unharmed, that's good enough. Even that Miror B's been driven out thanks to Wes. What's up, Plusle? Feeling hungry out of relief? Okay, Wes. Let's quit this moldy cavern and quick. You couldn't have said that soon enough. Wes, we owe you a great deal. Sincerely, I thank you. If you were even a bit later, Plusle could have been made a Shadow Pokemon. That's horrible. I'm glad everything's fine, Papa, and Plusle too. What's the matter, Plusle? Oh, you want to... Okay, I understand. Wes, could you take my Plusle with you? Plusle was saying it wants to help you too. Yes, that's right. You can't let those criminals get away with it. That's amazing. We've got a cute and brave addition to our party. Wes, I'm counting on you. Plusle was transferred to the PC and it joins our party. I intend to investigate the organization behind Miror B. As soon as I discover anything, I will be in touch. Which reminds me, Wes, I need your PDA number. I guess so. As long as you don't call me at like 3 in the morning, I don't really give a crap. Perfect. I will be in touch as soon as we discover anything. Miror B may be gone, but that doesn't mean their Shadow Pokemon plan is finished. We have to move quickly. We need to gather as much information as possible. Deep beneath this town is another town that goes by the name The Under. Miror B's mob may have been smuggling Shadow Pokemon in from there. I'm gonna do a little digging into the underground town of The Under myself. Alright, you do that, Sova, you do that. Big people! Please be nice to Plusle. We will. We're not monsters. I mean, look who we just fought. I mean, come on. He captured it. We saved it. That's enough trust, right? That's awesome, big guy. You went and knocked out Miror B while I was still on lookout duty. When I get bigger, I'm going to knock out Miror B too. That's the spirit champ. You know the kids grid? No. Everyone was saying they're going to make it and talk over it. Sex said they are. All right then. Interesting. Okay, these settings will do. Oh, you startled me. It's just you guys again. Oh, yes, I didn't tell you my name yet. I don't really care. I'm Marcia's friend. My name is Sek. I'm glad we met you. I'm trying to get in touch with kids in other towns to gather information. After all, this is the age of networking. It sure is, and I have to say, that's probably the best thing you can do as a child of your age. Get started now while you can, because the more connections you make now, the better off you'll be. At least they're making the most with their time. Hell, they're kids that are held up in a little cave behind a bookcase in this god-awful town. They have to be doing something productive. Yeah, so kind of cool. I always compare getting Plusle there to kind of like an anime moment. It feels kind of cool and just, I don't know, it has like a nice vibe and feel to like that scene. Like it just feels so warm. Like this is definitely a Pokemon adventure. And it's a feeling I don't really get from the handheld games. If we go back into the police station. Oh, I'm sorry, Chief, but there's big news. You see, Chief, Miror B and his underlings have left the town. Huh, Chief? You're not the Chief. I beg your pardon. I'm here, Johnson. That story isn't new. I've heard it over and over already. Oh, Chief, there you are. You're such a kidder. I'm pretty sure that Miror B hightailed it out of fear of me. I'm not really sure that's what it was, but alright. You two sure have done it. I just got word from one of Duking's people. So you wiped out Miror B and his gang. Thank you. On behalf of our whole town, I want to thank you two. There's also bad news. Headquarters warns that there is a mysterious organization that is plotting world domination. I don't know if it has any connection to Miror B, but you should be careful. Don't do anything reckless. Like what, wander into a cave and fight off a bunch of creepy looking goons like these guys? What? Miror B left town? Are you kidding me? You can tell us obvious lies, but we are still not going to leave this safe place. You're still going to remain cowards. That's awesome. Even after all this has been, I guess, resolved for now. Looks like that prisoner that we let out has still not been, he's not been returned. So I guess I'm kind of so curious what he's out there doing right now. Maybe we made the wrong move there. But with all of that progress accomplished, we have finished exploring Pyrite Cave. We have defeated Miror B, saved Plusle, and for what it seems like at the moment, we have restored a little bit of peace here at Pyrite Town. So next time on Pokemon Colosseum, we are going to continue looking around to see what else has changed in the aftermath of Miror B's defeat. So until then, I will see you later.